Now, today's Giving Tuesday, and all of you are going to be asked to participate and to contribute on this very special national day that nonprofits across the world are participating in. But I want you to think back and dream with me, with Sharon, a little bit about what we're going to be doing for the future, because dreaming is what we do because we do it. We are the doers. We dream, we have vision, we have goals, we have objectives. And at the end of the day, we do it. And if you look back in 1901, no Giving Tuesday, no Zoom calls, no opportunity to have this kind of a conversation. And yet our people went house to house, from Lublin to Atlanta to Louisiana to San Francisco to Paris. Everywhere around the world, we were collecting money for a dream, a 2,000-year-old dream that we bought acre by acre of land, bringing Israel to a reality after 2,000 years to our Jewish people. The only people on the face of the earth, Sharon, that have a land as part of their existence. And then there was 1948. 1948, I want you to imagine that picture of the people at Independence Hall. Most of them never had lived in a democracy in their life. And yet they voted to establish the state of Israel for the Jewish people everywhere. There were people that were gathered from one end of this earth to the other, had come together, and their truly future was always in question. Would it be a week, a month, or a year before our enemies were going to attack and destroy what we were thinking were the remnants of the Jewish people after losing 6 million? But no, then in 1967, we became, and let's face it, all of us here in the United States, for those who remember, the 6-Day War allowed us to come out of being hidden, to kind of rise up and to say, we won, we're victors. And in the 1980s, we marched on Washington, we marched around the world and said, let our people go. And the Jewish community of the world, imagine a speck of earth on the globe, brought down the great Soviet Union and brought over 3 million Jews to Israel who just wanted to say, I want to be Jewish. Well, today in 2021, for all of us on this call, for all of us across the world, we have another sound of the shofar going out. We want to be Jewish. Our future wants to be Jewish. From Birmingham, Alabama to Beersheba, Israel, from Los Angeles to Paris, from all of us everywhere we are, from Israel, from Tel Aviv, it is not a conversation that our next generation wants to have about right or left. The next conversation they want to have about religious or non-religious, not a conversation about Israel or diaspora. They want to have a conversation about shared values and common destiny. And the Jewish National Fund, starting right here on Giving Tuesday, is going to put a flag in the ground. In 5 years and counting, we are going to open up a 20-acre World Zionist Village. Now, what is that? It is not just buildings. It is not just land. If you think of it as that way, you're not thinking the way the Jewish National Fund believes in. The Jewish National Fund has vision for. Buildings are not the important. It's about a new conversation. Yes, we will have a second campus to our high school in Israel. For high school kids to come for a semester abroad experience, we have to bring more high school kids to Israel for long-term experiences. That is the #1 decrease that has happened over 25 years. And the formula for our success tomorrow is bring more. And Alexander Muss High School in Israel is doing that. We're at capacity. And with our new campus, we'll be at 5,000 teenagers per year. From America, from Australia, from South America, from Paris, and even a year program that will include Israeli kids coming. A whole accredited high school from America, accredited high school from Australia, and accredited high school from Israel. We're going to bring young kids, sophomores and juniors in high school for a semester. Yes, they're going to learn their calculus, but they're going to learn 4,000 years of Jewish history, living, loving the land. And more than that, for all of us, They're going to learn about each other. And they're going to start building the Jewish community of tomorrow. And then we're going to have gap year facilities for our gap year, for all gap years, young Judea and everyone. Together with the gap year for Israel, the Mechinot program, 31% of Israelis before the army go on their gap year. And on our campus and in our village, we will have both 18-year-olds from around the world and 18-year-olds from Israel on their own programs, but joining together for dinners and lunches and breakfasts, for trips throughout Israel, for Shabbat, building a relationship that will strengthen us for the next 50 to 100 years, and facilities for young leaders to come, college graduates that go on internships for a year in Israel, living in apartments right in our village. But every Friday, a Macomb community member will invite them for Shabbat dinner to their home. 12 months later, they'll have an experience, a business experience, a lifetime. Some may make Aliyah, we win. Others will come home and become the board presidents of the JNF, of your synagogues, or your temples, of other organizations, but they'll have built relationships with the Avis and Avitals in Israel, a relationship that we've only could have dreamed about, but we don't dream, we are the doers, and a hotel that will host synagogues, temples, churches. Just imagine the temple from Los Angeles, the Orthodox congregation from New York, an Orthodox congregation from Australia, a group from South America, young leaders from Paris, a group from Kiryat Shimona, family members from Beersheba. At 9 o'clock at night, they're coming in our village and they're going to have s'mores and a speaker on the footsteps of Abraham. They don't know each other. But in that hour or two, they're going to share a WhatsApp. They're going to decide to do a Zoom call. They're going to visit each other. They're going to start talking and building a conversation that is going to strengthen our Jewish community for the next 100 years. The World Zionist Village is a $350 million, not just dream, vision that we as the doers are going to be happening. 5 years from now, count it. We are opening up a village that's going to bring our Jewish world together. By the way, in a place called Beersheba, a place that has Intel and Microsoft and Dell computers, a place that has people from all over the world who have come there from the United States, from Morocco, a place that has, well, a little place called Abraham's Well, a place where the conversation first began. 1901, we didn't have a Giving Tuesday. 1948, we did not have. 67 and in the 70s and 80s. But today we're unified under the leadership of Sharon and all of you across the United States to ask people to join us so that when they are mentioning dates 100 years from now, 2021 is the date when people stood up and said, count on me for the future of the Jewish world.